Welcome to the Bath Fizz and Foam YouTube channel. My name is Robyn French-Smith, and today we're going to talk about the Cada Potion Bottle Mold. Sorry. Right out the gate, I just want to show you how to not do it, okay? We're just getting in there hot and heavy right from the beginning, right? Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, so the very first one I made, I tried to flip over. So that is my favorite way to unmold a bath bomb, is to kind of put my hands around the edges and then flip it over. And I had my doubts. Like, don't get me wrong. I was looking at the bottle, I was looking at the neck. I was like, this probably won't work. But I still tried to do it. I still tried to do it because I don't know. I mean, if you don't try, how do you know that it won't work, right? So, okay, so I will try again, and I'll try a different method, which is not my favorite method, but it is a method that will work. And to start off, we're going to mold the way we mold all of our other bath bombs with a 3D printed mold. We place the flat back piece first. Well, I can't say all of our molds, but the push-through molds like this, press molds. So we're going to place our flat back piece first. I lightly fill the mold with some bath bomb mix. I am pressing in an embed in there so that it will shoot out some pretty color. Since the bath bomb is white, I want there to be some, things going on. Because the neck is going to be a fragile place, I'm going to pat that area just a little bit just to kind of strengthen it. And I don't really do that I don't press my mix into any of my other parts of my molds. Anytime I have a thin area like that, though, I will press it in. I'm having trouble getting the press piece into the shell, as you can see, but I did eventually get it in. And I'm going to press it, and I turn it to make sure I'm equally pressing it all the way around, just kind of making sure it's it's good. I just want to make sure it's good. And then I'm going to tap the sides of that flat piece to help loosen the suction. That's why you're tapping. You're tapping to loosen the suction that exists between the bath bomb and the mold. Moving that flat piece off, and then struggling with what to do. I'm going to press the shell or the sleeve up just a little bit. I'm trying to be very I'm trying to be very cautious because I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. So I'm just pressing it just a little bit. And then that way it doesn't fall out as I flip it over. And I had to make sure that there was enough room for me to get my fingers underneath it so that I can press the shell up and away from the mold. And if there's any imperfections, you just kind of tap them down. If you broke the, bath bomb, if you broke it bad, obviously you might have to redo it. But if there's a little crack or, a little bit of shearing off the top of the design, you can just tap it back into place and it'll be fine. So yeah, this is a completely different style or different method of unmolding. And I know that there are people who always unmold their bath bombs like this. There are people who don't like the way that I usually do it at all. They don't use the way that I do it at all. And so that just goes to show you that there's lots of ways to do this. So these tutorials aren't, trying to tell you how to do it. It's just showing you how I do it, how it's successful, how it is successful, how it's successful for me. It doesn't necessarily mean this is the only way to do it. I'm just saying this is what works for me. I do sometimes use an unmolding tool. It's like a flat piece. It could be cardboard or anything like that, but this one's a 3D printed kind of flat back piece. But this bottle is so long. It's longer than my little thing, my little unmolder. It's longer than that. And so I just didn't think that was really going to work. Plus, then I'd still have to move it off the unmolding tool. I've used cardboard coasters before, and that was cool because I could just leave the bath bomb on the coaster and didn't have to move it off. But with my favorite unmolder, my best unmolder, literally, okay, this is just a side note, but everything in the house that is my favorite, we don't call it my favorite. It's Mama's best. So it's this is Mama's best salsa. This is Mama's best chocolate. Sorry, side note there. Anyway, it's Mama's best unmolder, okay? And so, yeah, it doesn't work with this. It's too long for this. So, okay, so there again, I just pressed it up a little bit. I don't want to move it when it's fragile. Of course, I'm moving it, but you know, until they dry, they are still pretty fragile. So the key thing here, and the reason that I usually don't unmold this way is because I guess I'm like a little bit rougher than other people. I don't know, but usually the reason that I don't prefer to unmold it this way is that I have in the past had a problem with squashing my bath bomb when I do this method. Like you really have to make sure that your thumbs that are on the press piece aren't pressing down, but you still have to have them on the press piece providing resistance so that you can pull the shell or the sleeve up off of the thing. And for some reason, like that is a difficult maneuver for me for the most part. Like for some reason, I crush my bath bombs a lot when I do that. And I didn't crush any on this one, so I'm like really proud of myself. Maybe I've gotten better. And honestly, I haven't tried to do that method in a long time. I mean, I'm a lot better at making bath bombs now than I used to be, so I don't know. Maybe I should give it a second chance. That's all I'm saying. Maybe I need to give it that method a second chance because it works really well for any of the kind of longer, thinner molds like this. And just, you know, make sure that you're adding more mix to that neck area. What's interesting is like even if I pack the neck area, a lot of times it still is going to be kind of sideways, and that bottom part is still going to be thicker. So it's just harder to get mix in there, you know. So you just want to make sure that you're packing that just a little bit extra, not, you know, slamming it in there really hard or anything like that, but you are going to want to pack that firmly to make sure that the neck doesn't break. All right, we got this going. So yeah, so tapping, and then we're going to remove that flat back piece and then push it just slightly up through the shell, ever so slightly. Ah, look at that. I mean, it is kind of cool because it won't fall out as long as your mix is like good. As long as you're good. Are you good? Are we good? As long as your mix is good. Yeah, your bath bomb will not fall out when you just like kind of lightly. Look at that. Hey, you know, I'm looking at this mold and I'm thinking to myself, could this be a banjo? I don't know why I had that thought. You're welcome. Welcome to my world. Like, we're thinking this through together, but I think that could be a banjo, y'all. I just wanted to let y'all know that. I had that thought and I just literally just shared it with you right there. Okay, so here, obviously, we are looking at it sideways so you can see what's going on. Always, for me, I like to lightly fill it like that, and then I'm just pressing gently. I mean, I'm not really packing in there. Pressing gently the mix on the neck. The neck. It is a banjo. Oh my god. Now I can't unsee that now. I'm sorry. Okay, so then I'm pressing the press piece, that thick press piece through. I give it a tap right there to knock off the extra bath bomb mix, and that helps reduce messiness just a little bit. It's bath bombs are messy. You know, flipping it and swirling it on the table, like I don't think I have to do it as many times as I do it. I think I just enjoy that little spin. It's like the way bartenders have like flair. Like I feel like it's like my bath bomb flair. Does that make sense? I think that I just like realized that. Like I think that I kind of like just that little flip. Like just that little flippity flip. Like it's nice. Like it feels good when you're like, and like kind of, you should try it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying like next time you're making bath bombs, you should give it a shot and like just kind of do like a little and twirl it and just see. It feels good. Maybe we could start like a whole subculture of bath bomb making, like bath bomb flair. The way like bartenders have like flair and that's like a thing for them. So yeah, I'll get back to the bath bomb making though now. Sorry. So always gently moving it and supporting any of the areas that are thinner and that need a little extra help. And I know that my mix looks dry. That's a pretty common comment that people will say, especially if you've made other types of bath bombs, like different, classic bath bomb recipes. This mix would definitely look dry. However, this mix has a liquid surfactant in it, which helps everything kind of stay together. And even though it looks dry, it's actually really easy to get it to hold together and hold its shape. And one of the best things about this recipe for me is that I don't have to constantly be adding binder. And I also don't have to feel like I'm in a mad rush to get my bath bombs made. I can kind of take my time, messing up like I did at the beginning. I also mess up again at the end. So this whole thing is sandwiched between two mess ups. And isn't that just life, right? Anyway, not to get like philosophical. I'm not getting philosophical on you. We're not doing that today. Yeah, but there, I do mess up and stuff like that. But yeah, I do make bath bombs and I do it all the time. And this is the mix I use and it works great. So if you're ever interested in it, you can, I'll include links to our website. We do sell our recipes. But we also have some free recipes on our blog. So, if you are looking for a free recipe and you're kind of, before you commit to paying for a recipe, I definitely suggest trying out our free recipe. It's a great recipe. And I'm actually starting, you guys, hopefully I can post it tomorrow. I'm going to start posting WTF Wednesdays. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, where I go and find kind of crazy recipes from Pinterest or just recipes that are online and then make them exactly the way they are described. So that's one of the rules. Like if they don't say sift the ingredients, I don't sift the ingredients. If they say, add 1 tablespoon of water, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of water. So, so I'm going through and finding kind of crazy recipes from Pinterest, Instagram. I don't know. There's none on Instagram, but most of them are from Pinterest right now. And I have 2 already that I've done, and hopefully I can post one of them tomorrow to start off WTF Wednesday. But yeah, it's just so that's the thing. That's why I'm saying, please, if you want a free recipe, we have a free recipe on our blog. It's Amanda's Basic Bath Bomb Recipe, and it is a great free recipe, and it works, and it won't do what these crazy, oh my God, these crazy other recipes I'm finding will do. I cannot wait to show you that, because it's a little bit more personal too, because, we're in my bathroom. We're going to test the bathroom. We're going to test the bath bombs in my bathroom. And we're going to use my kids' bathtub because it's it's a sacrificial lamb. It's the test tub. I don't really care if that one gets all jacked up, but, bro, I did jack it up. Right out the gate. I just jacked it up and I was like, oh my God, I had to clean it for 30 minutes to get it clean. So I hope that you guys join me for that little adventure. I think that will be fun. Yeah, so all that was basically to say that we have a great free recipe that won't do that-ish to you. So you can head to our website, bathfismfoam.com, if you're interested in that. And I do have one more bath bomb that I make, and I messed up on it. And so I go ahead and fast forward through it because it's a lot of first me making it and then having to remake it. So, I don't know, just felt like dead time. But I didn't want to not post how I made it, because I'm actually at the end of this video, I show you how I paint these. And there's 7 bath bombs on the tray when I'm painting it. So I didn't want you to be like, where did the 7th bath bomb come from? I didn't want it to be like a soap opera. When you're watching a soap opera and you're like, where did this kid come from? Or where did that kid go? And you're like, oh, okay, this 17-year-old was the kid that was the baby 2 episodes ago. Okay, I'm so confused. So I just wanted to show you the origin story of that 7th bath bomb. This is where he comes from, right here. And yeah, so let me show you how I painted these. I'm using True Blue mica from TKB. It is a cosmetic approved mica So cosmetic approved blue mica. So there's not a lot of those out there. So I was really happy to find this one, and it makes a really, oh, there I'm finding a podcast. I was listening to Dr. Death during this. So I was like, whoa, that is an intense podcast. I'm adding a blue highlight right there, which is going to be kind of the sloshy effect of the water inside of the potion bottle. And then I'm just cleaning up the edges, like cutting into the edges and making sure that that line is nice and clean and kind of well defined. I'm also adding white. I know that the bath bombs are already white, so this may seem like a kind of stupid extra step to take, but I like to, number one, it's mica, so it's going to add a shimmer to it anyway, but also it's going to act as kind of a primer for the next step, which is where I add the highlights. So when I already have mica on there, it kind of helps it glide. And I messed up right there. But you can never really mess up. So I cleaned it up, fixed it up, and I actually liked the way, because it added some subtle blue to the side of the bottle when I did that, and I actually liked the way that looked, so it was a happy accident. So I went ahead and added a little bit of extra blue on the side to all of them, because it just kind of added some more depth to it that I think that it didn't have before. So then finishing up the highlight, I'm going to paint the corks. The corks. I'm going to paint the corks with Honey Blush. It's one of my favorite micas from Nurture Soap. Adding a little bit of a shadow underneath them. And then, for the last part, I'm making this into holy water. So I hope that I don't offend anybody by this. I will show you why I made it into holy water. I made a vampire hunter kit. So that is where the holy water comes into play. You have your jar of holy water, you have a stake to stab the vampire with, and obviously a cross to, get the demons away. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Please, if you liked this video, like and subscribe. And so you can see as I add more content, and you'll be, notified of that kind of stuff. You could also join our Facebook group, Bath Fizz and Foam, Bath Bomb, and Bubble Bar Support Group. We are community. We are community. We are community. There you go. And as always, happy making.